Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and I've been putting some thought into some of the projects that I've been working on. Now, today isn't necessarily one of them. Today, well, we're going to be doing jazz soundtrack for one. But also, we are going to be doing, I believe it's Crashing Meteor today on the Arcana Spotlight series. But I've been having an interaction with one of my viewers, and was reminded of the How to Build For series that I had been working on. And what caught me about that is that I'd been working on that for a little while now, and what threw me off about that. Hold on. Yeah, my body's telling me it's too early to be working on this. This is a morning recording, by the way, so you may very well hear birds in the background, and make of that what you will. But alright, so I think what we're going to do for this build is we're going to run it with Tidal Blast. And since Crashing Meteor, well, I'll get more into Crashing Meteor in a minute, so let me finish the thought that I had before I just completely lose it here. But yeah, I had been reminded of that series, and I was like, what is keeping me from working on this? Because I've been kind of all over the place with it lately, and I'm not sure 100% what I want to do with it. And it hits me that part of the reason why I haven't been getting much done on is because it involves script writing, and those of you who have been with my channel for a while know that I'm not big on working with a script. I'm really not. Yeah, Dark Sage, we can tell by how scatterbrained your thoughts are right now. Alright, pack it in. But I'm thinking what I might do instead is take that idea for a series, like how to build for, power or critical or speed casting, and just run it as I normally would, instead of trying to sit down and script everything out and plan everything out. I do much better speaking off the cuff. And some people might find that to be annoying. I completely understand. It is not necessarily the most commonplace of things. But it's one of those things where I'm just going, I can't really help how I am, the sort of person that I am. It's just, I know myself. And the big thing about me is that I'm not big on reading off of scripts. Hell, I don't even like to sign paperwork if I can get away with it. And, oftentimes you can't because, the world is what it is. But what got me about that conversation... Okay, you guys need to be dealt with. But yeah, what got me about that conversation is the idea that I talked about, I talked about, how I would put together certain builds and what principles I would use to put them together, and it was one of those things that they weren't 100% clear on, so it made me think maybe it's about time I refocus on that, and instead of worrying about planning out every single aspect and whatever, just get the fucker out. Get it out there, let people talk about it. Just Just stop, because I know myself. And for those of you who aren't aware, that series has been in the. Okay, come on, brain, we can do this. Just because it's early doesn't mean that we throw ourselves away. Between stress, anxiety, depression, like sticking with projects that require like that level of script writing, apparently just don't do it for me. Or rather, I don't like the idea of being restrained on what it is I'm going to say and talk about. So I might just have to unchain myself from that. Maybe just write down some generalized ideas and just call it good from there. I don't know. That's just kind of what I'm at with that. But now let's refocus on what we're really supposed to be focusing on, and thank you for giving me the chance to rant there. That was... There we go. Alright, we'll go ahead and give you this. But yeah, today's focus is on crashing Meteor, which... Ooh, so many interesting things. Alright, so we're going to take one control method. And then I don't know. I don't know if I actually want... Yeah, I do. So, little history on crashing Meteor. The version of the spell we have now is not always how the spell was. Originally, it didn't have the falling comet chunks ahead of it. It was just the meteor by itself. And at one time, it was, I will say, tied with the strongest single-hit damage in the game. That now is an honor clearly held by Dragonfall, but because of the comet chunks, it still has roughly the same damage output, just not quite. I don't even know if I'm going to use that, it's just there. It's just now spread out over multiple hits. So nowadays, if you want that powerful single hit damage, what you need to do is either use the unenhanced version of Crashing Meteor or use Dragonfall. Which, of course, Dragonfall has its own niche. But the signature cast, as you can tell, covers a gigantic area. An area comprised of the falling comet shards first, and then the meteors afterwards, with a few more comet shards after that. Which I will say, this is wonderful at clearing rooms, but again, it's iffy against bosses. Because you're not hitting them with multiple meteors, you're just hitting them with... You're just hitting them with one, and then a few comet shards. So against bosses, you're not getting any more damage out of the meteor than if you were to just cast the spell on them. Matter of fact, you might even be getting a little bit less because you'll be hitting them with fewer comet shards. Alright, that was a mess. I want that. I don't know if I want anything else here. So, for people who really like crashing meteor, definitely I understand, but I also think that just because of its rather iffy nature against bosses, you can definitely do better. But I'm also well aware that the place where people have the most trouble isn't necessarily with bosses, but with regular enemies. Oh, beautiful. So, yeah, I understand why people really like crashing meteor. I will say it's one of those powerful options that's, you know, I talk down about it sometimes, but I like it too. I mean, there is something very, very visually pleasing about seeing just a giant chunk of flaming rock fall on someone. But looking at it strictly from, like, the numbers, again, it's one of those things that really covers a lot of ground in regular battle rooms. Not so much against bosses. So if you're going to use this as your signature, you're going to want to take it with a little bit of a grain of salt here because... Alright, no. Putting on the Conquistador helmet. And might as well grab that just because. Because in order to get the large damage numbers that you want, you need to pair Crashing Meteor with something else. Now, you don't necessarily need something to create a lot of stun because that's what the little like comet shards or meteorite chunks, however you want to look at it, that's their job. So you can run this pretty safely with just another power option, which is what I chose to do. I chose to bring in Tidal Blast. Now, of course, it'd be silly to suggest that that's like the only like feasible option. There's plenty of things that you can do because, like, one thing that was coming to my mind as I was looking over things is you could because Meteor Blast or Crashing Meteor starts really close to you. You could actually lead off with like a jump, like, you know, Airborne Slam, for example. I love it. And we'll grab that. I don't know if I want to grab Vampire's Eyeglasses. We're not going heavy into the critical hit side of things. I might grab the hat, though, just because that could lead us to the Magician's outfit. But yeah, as you can see, it's not too difficult to lead a bunch of enemies into the meteor. So I just figure in order to make up for the somewhat lacking damage against bosses, I'm just gonna run another power option. I do like explosive charge. Alright, I'm gonna have to think about that one. Like I said, works great against mooks because they're gonna get knocked around by the meteors and just get wrecked. Against enemies that don't suffer a lot of knockback, you know, you're just essentially getting one meteor hit, and of course the meteor hit is what you really want out of this spell. So, I think the reworking of this spell is just fine. I have nothing against this spell. I'm just saying there's definitely room for improvement. I'll take the Pewter Bracelet. And I know I've been stating a lot. I've been stating things as matter-of-factly as possible, which is probably going to lead a lot of people to think that I feel very negatively about this because I'm not just out here singing its praises. But the fact of the matter is, this is a fine... Alright, I guess we'll be an elf. No, this is a fine spell. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. And I ultimately think the reworking is for the best because it makes the spell easier to use and it has a decent amount of combo potential, which I think is grand. And the way that the signature works, it has a very high ease of use factor. Which, yeah, I would say that there's some amount of importance to that, just because there's a lot of really interesting Arcana out there that are really powerful and have some strong points that are not very easy to use. One that comes to mind for me, is Shock Assault, because, yeah, it doesn't do a lot of damage, and a good number of people have pointed that out. I am just being stupid right now. Okay, that room just wrecked my Elixir of Might. Like, that's just embarrassing for me. Well, I do like Mercenary's Dagger, but one of the problems I have with that... Yeah, I guess I just graduated. But it does increase Chaos Gem gain, so that synergizes very nicely with the Pewter Bracelet. Okay, I don't know if you guys caught it there, but I just ran afoul of one of my worst mistakes when playing this game. You don't necessarily want to just charge through a group of enemies like that to try to attack them from the other side. Hello, we want that. Yeah, ease of use is definitely something that I think has a place. And just because there are spells out there that may have a greater effect at a kind of lesser ease of use quotient, which is a very odd way of saying it's harder to use. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's 100% a better spell. Like I said, I love Explosive Charge, but I very much understand that that is not an easy spell to use, so... I do not begrudge people for saying that they dislike Explosive Charge. I see that as one of those things where there's either not enough practice put into it, or it's just not what they're looking for a build, and that's totally fine. I can't begrudge people something that's hard to use just because... or begrudge them for not liking something that's hard to use just because I like it. Like, that's getting into the territory of, you know, elitist bullshit. So yeah, just covering that real quick, no, I have no issue with crashing Meteor. It being easier to use nowadays is not a bad thing. Easiest boss in the game. Pardon me. Okay, I suppose I deserve that. I'm going to wait on that. So, where would I put Crashing Meteor? Obviously, I am going to be having to decide that. And I think... See, I would put it at a pretty solid A tier, myself. One of those things where it's like, good, but not necessarily top tier. Okay, this is not a good time to be receiving phone calls. I'm trying to record. another reminder that I should be setting my phone to silent before I start recording. But no, he just wanted to jump right in and start putting my thoughts into video format. Alright, we'll just go ahead and do the upgrade now. I mean, whatever, it's a freebie. And so is that, but... Okay, I think what I'm gonna do... See, we still have plenty of time to make to have the prestigious diploma get us what we want. We're gonna drop that, adopt the fairy. Drop that, take the assassin's blade. Alright, cool. Alright, now, I'm gonna feel stupid if the Magician's Wand shows up here, but I'm getting the feeling it won't. Smooth. Good job, me. Oh, pardon me. As you can well see, this Arcana makes getting through runes pretty trivial. Especially if you're doing a lot of damage, because how much signature charge you get is very closely tied to how much damage you're dealing. So, just ends up working out well for everybody. Hey, you can piss off. It occurs to me, though, that having both the Dark Katana and the Assassin's Blade, although generally very good, probably not great here because I'm not putting a lot of focus on melee, so I don't know. Gonna keep it, though, because I rarely get both of those in the same run. Alright, well that could have gone better. Alright, and that's up to 17.7. Alright, thank you, Graduation Cap. I can't check Dagger of Midas. Well, I can. I just do it like that. 12.4. Well, it'll be doing better once we have some more gold. Oh, that's stupid. Oh, damn. Alright, well. Alright, well, I guess this fight just doesn't end. Yeah, and Shu is easily the hardest boss just because of how much time he spends manipulating your position with moves that either home or oh, you get the idea. Alright, and that just about brings us to the finale here. Yeah, at this point, well, no, I want to keep my money, so mostly because of how it's affecting my damage. This is not a particularly smooth Sura fight, I will say that. Alright, there. Got that to work out. So yeah, crashing meteors is definitely something you want to take with you if you're planning a power build. Don't know how I would recommend it for speed cast or, you know, it's obviously not movement based. You could use it for critical hit, but it's about as effective as you'd think it would be there. I mean, it really just has one niche. But in that one niche, it's very good. So definitely think about trying it out. A lot of you already have. And yeah, that's about it for me today. So thank you guys very much for watching. I appreciate your continued support and you coming to spend some of your free time here with me today. I hope you have a fantastic day or night wherever you may happen to be. And I'll catch you in the next one. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and you take care, everybody.